Hi, have you got a minute? I want to tell you a story. Way back in the late 1800s, there was a minister in Philadelphia, and every once in a while, someone from his church would come and speak to him and say something like this. I graduated from high school, and I can't afford, and my family can't afford for me to go to university in Pennsylvania. That's a school for rich kids. How come there isn't a school for everybody else? Why does everybody have to be rich in Philadelphia to go to college? Russell Cornwell came to believe that this was his life's work to start a college that anybody could go to. But he's just a poor minister. He doesn't have any money, but he has one thing. He has a story. And he made it into a sermon, and he titled it Acres of Diamonds. And he decided he was going to tour the country and tell the story and raise money for the school. And he told the story thousands and thousands and thousands of times to congregations all over the country. And the money he made from doing that went into founding of Temple University. And this is the story he told. Just like the United States had a gold rush, many, many years ago in South Africa, they had a diamond rush. The people were striking it rich and finding diamonds. And all of a sudden, average people and poor people would become wealthy beyond their dreams. Well, at that time, there was a man and his wife and two little kids, and they weren't prosperous, but they were doing better than most people because they had a cow, they had a couple of horses, they had a farm, and they were doing pretty well. But this man was not happy. He heard about people striking it rich, finding diamonds. So here's what he and his best friend decided. He was going to sell his farm. He was going to send his wife and his kids off to stay at his in-laws. And he and his buddy were going to start prospecting for diamonds. So everything went according to plan. He found somebody to buy his farm, a young couple with two kids, just like he had. He sent his wife and kids off, and he and his buddy took off, and after 6 months, he didn't find a sliver of a diamond. And his buddy says, "This is not working out. I'm leaving." So now he's out there by himself. And after a few more months of no success, jumped off a bridge and committed suicide. Now, up until this point, it's not a very motivational story. But let's get back to the farm and the young couple that bought the farm. So the husband and wife and two kids are living there on the farm they bought from the guy who committed suicide. And one day, a traveling salesman selling pots and pans came to the door, and he went through his whole sales pitch. And the young man said, "Well, we can appreciate the value and the quality of your products, but to tell you the truth, we can't afford anything like this." And so they were sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden the salesman looked up on the fireplace mantel, and he saw these black rocks. He said, "Excuse me, but what are those black rocks?" And they said, "Oh, we have this little stream that goes through our property, and every once in a while our kids bring mommy and daddy a present, and they bring us one of these rocks." And the salesman said, "These are kind of strange looking rocks. Hey, could I borrow one? I have a friend that's a geologist, and I just wanted to look at that. I'll be back in this area next week, and I promise I'll bring it back." And the young man said, "No, you can have it. We have so many of them." So the salesman took it. And the very next morning at 6 a.m., the young couple hears a banging on the door, and it's the salesman. 6 o'clock in the morning. And the salesman has his geologist friend with him. So the young couple invites them in, and they all sit down in the living room. And then the geologist holds the rock up in his hand, and he says, "Ma'am, sir, this is not a rock. This is a pure diamond." And that property became the biggest diamond mine in the history of the world. Most of the Queen of England's diamonds come from this mine in South Africa. So the original owner of the farm, every single day, he was standing on acres of diamonds and never even realized it. And that's the story for the man. The story for the rest of us is everything we need is already inside us. All the resources are all around us. We're all standing on acres of diamonds. It's true for each and every one of us. And that was Dr. Russell Cornwell's story that built Temple University. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please click the like and subscribe buttons for our channel.